These stories of survival highlight extraordinary efforts undertaken in the face of seemingly insurmountable odds. Here are the top 15 most unbelievable rescue missions. Number 15. Timothy Lindsay Shadic. The rescue of Australian sailor Timothy Lindsay Shadic and his dog Bella by the Mexican tuna boat Maria Delia is a remarkable tale of survival and gratitude. Shadic, who had been adrift at sea for 3 months, expressed deep appreciation for the crew that saved his life. Shadic, a seasoned sailor who embarked on his journey from Mexico's Baja Peninsula towards French Polynesia, encountered bad weather that crippled his catamaran early on. He survived on raw fish after losing his electronics and his ability to cook in a storm. When the Maria Delia's helicopter spotted Shadic's vessel over 1,200 miles from land, it was the first human contact he had experienced in months. The crew of the tuna boat provided much-needed medical attention, food, and hydration, rescuing Shadic and Bella from a perilous situation. Shadic described the crew and his newfound family, emphasizing the immediate bond Bella formed with them. He recounted Bella's origin, stating that she had found him in Mexico and refused to leave his side. Shadic remained positive, spending his time fixing things and finding solace in the ocean. Shadic was visibly relieved upon reaching dry land in Manzanillo and plans to return to Australia soon to reunite with his family. The crew of the Maria Delia not only saved lives, but also provided hope and compassion to a sailor and his faithful companion. Number 14. The Copiapo mining accident. The Chile mine rescue of 2010 was a complex and challenging operation that successfully saved 33 workers trapped underground for 69 days, following the collapse of the San Jose gold and copper mine on August 5, 2010. The collapse happened at approximately 2 p.m., trapping 33 workers, most of whom were Chilean miners, along with one Bolivian worker. The mine, located in the Atacama desert, was approximately 2,600 feet deep. Initial rescue attempts by local emergency squads were unsuccessful. Then the government took charge, ordering Codelco, the state-owned mining company, to coordinate efforts. After drilling exploratory holes, signs of life were detected on August 22nd, when tapping was heard and a note confirmed the survival of all 33 workers. The trapped men became known as Los 33. To rescue the miners, 3 drilling rigs were employed, including a raised bore machine and specialized equipment for oil and gas prospecting. Plans A, B, and C were initiated, with drilling started on August 30th, September 5th, and September 19th, respectively. Despite initial estimates of a longer wait, on October 9, the Plan B drill completed a tunnel, and by October 13th, the men were lifted to the surface in a specially designed capsule. Chilean President Sebastián Piñera greeted the men upon their rescue. The rescue operation cost around $20 million, primarily funded by the Chilean government and its companies. Post-rescue, the miners received extensive support and media attention, but also faced some challenges, with some struggling to cope with trauma and resorting to alcohol and drugs. Legal proceedings attributed responsibility for the collapse to the mine owners and Chile's National Geology and Mining Service. Number 13. Louis Jordan. Louis Jordan's remarkable survival at sea for 66 days after his sailboat capsized off the South Carolina coast is an example of human resilience and resourcefulness. Jordan, 37, embarked on a fishing trip on January 23rd, but encountered disaster when his boat overturned, leaving him injured and adrift. Stranded without crucial equipment like GPS devices and his captain's log, Jordan relied on ingenuity to survive. He sustained himself by making pancakes daily from flour fried in oil and catching fish using improvised techniques with laundry. Rainwater became his primary source of hydration, offering a taste he described as resembling coconut milk. Throughout the ordeal, Jordan drew strength from his faith, praying and reading his Bible regularly. His determination to survive was fueled by concerns for his family and friends, whom he worried about deeply during his prolonged absence. Despite the challenges, Jordan's resolve never wavered. His survival story captured international attention, culminating in his rescue by the Coast Guard 200 miles off the North Carolina coast after being spotted by the crew aboard a German-flagged ship, Houston Express. Following medical treatment for dehydration and a shoulder injury, Jordan was reunited with his family. His journey underscores the importance of hope, resourcefulness, and faith in the face of adversity. Jordan's unwavering determination to return home and his reliance on simple survival tactics offered a profound lesson in resilience and perseverance. Number 12. The Tham Luang Cave Rescue. In June 2018, a group of 12 boys aged 11 to 16 and their 25-year-old assistant coach, Ekafon Kantawang from a junior football team named the Wild Boars, went missing after exploring a cave in Thailand. They were trapped by sudden flooding caused by continuous rainfall, leaving them stranded deep within the cave system. As the crisis unfolded, rescue teams devised several strategies to extract the group. Waiting until the end of the monsoon season while providing food and water to the trapped individuals, teaching basic diving skills to the boys, exploring alternative cave entrances to facilitate easier escape, attempting to drill a rescue shaft though no suitable location was found, or implementing an oxygen line and telephone wire for communication. Ultimately, the decision was made to conduct a daring rescue operation due to the imminent threat of monsoon rains that could further flood the cave. An international team of cave divers, including British and Australian experts, led the mission to retrieve the boys. Each diver accompanied a boy on the perilous journey out of the submerged cave passages. The rescue involved administering anesthetic to the boys to keep them calm during the underwater journey, which was fraught with challenges including poor visibility and tight spaces. The boys were equipped with wetsuits, buoyancy jackets, harnesses, and full face masks connected to oxygen cylinders. They were rendered unconscious using ketamine and received additional drugs to stabilize their heart rates and reduce anxiety. The rescue operation spanned several days, with divers navigating through the submerged tunnels and tight passages while carefully maneuvering the boys to safety. Each boy was described as a package during the extraction, ensuring their safety amidst those challenging conditions. Despite some minor setbacks, including a burst water pipe that threatened to flood the cave, the rescue mission successfully brought all 12 boys and their coach out of the cave system over several days. Number 11. Charles Gregory. In August of 2023, 25-year-old Charles Gregory was rescued off the coast of St. Augustine in Florida after being stranded at sea for nearly 2 days on his partially submerged fishing boat. Gregory's family reported him missing when he failed to return from a fishing trip that began in the early hours of Friday morning. The U.S. Coast Guard, along with multiple law enforcement agencies, conducted an extensive search that lasted through the night until Gregory was located about 12 miles offshore. He was spotted by a Coast Guard airplane crew sitting in his small John boat, which was filled with water and partially submerged. A Coast Guard cutter crew successfully rescued Gregory from the boat and transferred him to another crew participating in the search and rescue effort. Despite his ordeal, Greg did not report any medical concerns. Gregory's father, Raymond, shared details of his son's experience, explaining that rough tides had caused Gregory to be tossed from his boat, which subsequently drifted out to sea. Greg managed to hoist himself back into the boat, but was swept away by the strong currents. During his time at sea, Gregory faced numerous challenges, including exposure to sharks, jellyfish stings, and scorching Florida sun. After being rescued, he was taken to EMS at Villano Beach Fishing Pier and later returned home to rest. He was described as exhausted, dehydrated, and suffering from rhabdomyolysis, a condition resulting from the breakdown of damaged muscle cells. Number 10. James Mort. In January, during a skiing trip in the Swiss Alps, Australian skier James Mort, age 20, faced a life-threatening situation when he was trapped under snow in a massive avalanche. Mort and his friends, including a Swiss skier Leonard Ottensmeyer and fellow Australian Daniel O'Sullivan, were skiing off-piste in Le Corset when disaster struck. The rescue was captured on video by O'Sullivan's GoPro of all things. As Mort and Ottensmeyer were enjoying the fresh snow, an avalanche suddenly knocked O'Sullivan and Ottensmeyer off their skis and buried Mort under a wall of snow. In the midst of all this chaos, Mort felt overwhelmed as the snow piled up around him. He later described thinking, "I'm dead." However, O'Sullivan quickly realized Mort was trapped and located him by spotting one of Mort's ski poles waving through the snow. With swift action, O'Sullivan and Ottensmeyer dug through the snow to reach Mort's head, allowing him to breathe. Mort tearfully expressed his relief when they uncovered him. Swiss ski patrol officers arrived promptly, and after an extensive effort that lasted nearly an hour, successfully extracted Mort from the snow. Reflecting on his harrowing experience, Mort emphasized the importance of caution and preparedness for off-piste skiing. In a blog post afterwards, he shared the video as a cautionary tale, urging skiers to prioritize safety by carrying essential equipment like transceivers, probes, and shovels, and by seeking avalanche awareness training. Mort's rescue underscores the critical role of preparedness and quick action in any life-threatening situations. His story serves as a reminder of the risks associated with skiing and highlights the importance of education and safety measures to prevent similar actions and incidents. Number 9. Slift Hria. The Dutch cargo ship Slift Hria faced a situation off the coast of Norway in April of 2021 when it listed heavily and began taking on water, risking a potential sinking and oil spill. Amid 50-foot swells, a dramatic helicopter rescue was executed on April 5th, evacuating the vessel's crew to safety. Following the rescue, plans were enacted to salvage the 2015-built Yacht transport vessel. A dedicated salvage team successfully lowered a tow line to the Slift Hria, initiating a journey under tow toward Ålesund. However, complications arose when the ship lost main engine power overnight, further imperiling its stability. Initially, 8 crew members were airlifted to safety on April 5th, with the remaining 4 choosing to stay on board to aid in salvage efforts. They were eventually rescued after leaping into the turbulent sea, but despite those efforts, the ship continued drifting toward Ålesund at a rate of about 1.5 to 2 knots, necessitating urgent intervention. In the challenging weather conditions, the Norwegian Coastal Administration deployed resources to manage this evolving crisis. Their patrol boat, Sortland, reached the Slift Hria on April 6th. Facing the looming threat of sinking, the vessel had approximately 350 tons of heavy oil and 50 tons of diesel in its tank, heightening concerns of a potential spill. The vessel, primarily a yacht transport carrier, was loaded with precious cargo, including fish farm service vessels, a high-value pleasure boat destined for Trondelag, and the urgency of the salvage operation underscored the risks associated with the maritime mishap of this magnitude. As the vessel teetered on the brink of disaster, efforts to stabilize and secure the ship underscored the complex challenges of maritime salvage operations in treacherous conditions. Number 8. The Atrevida 2. 2 men and a pet dog were dramatically rescued from their powerless and fuel-deprived sailboat, the Atrevida 2, more than 200 miles off the coast of Delaware, 10 days after losing contact with friends and family during their journey from Cape May, New Jersey, to Marathon, Florida. Kevin Hyde, age 65, and Joe DiTomaso, age 76, embarked on their sailing adventures alongside Minnie the Poodle, encountering challenges when their vessel lost power and radio communication off the coast of North Carolina's Outer Banks on December 3rd. The Coast Guard initiated a widespread search after the sailors were reported overdue, deploying resources from Florida to New Jersey, including Coast Guard vessels, Navy ships, and commercial boats. On December 14th, the sailors were spotted by the crew of the Silver Muna tanker ship off Delaware's coast, where they'd been rescued amid challenging conditions. Following their rescue, Hyde, DiTomaso, and Minnie were brought aboard the Silver Muna shortly after 4 p.m. They'll remain on board the tanker until it reaches New York, where the Coast Guard will further assess their condition. The captain of the Silver Muna attributed the rescue to what he described as divine intervention, emphasizing the fortuitous nature of their encounter with the distressed sailors. The captain's crew employed a cargo net to safely extract the exhausted sailors from their battered sailboat, a challenging operation that took 3 hours. The rescue marked a moment of relief and gratitude for the families of Hyde and DiTomaso, who had endured days of uncertainty and concern. Despite the challenges of their ordeal, both sailors and their canine companions were physically okay and eagerly anticipated reuniting with loved ones over the holiday season. Moving on to number 7, a whale of a tale. 4 sailors embarked on a daring journey from the Galapagos Islands to French Polynesia aboard the 44-foot sailboat Rain Dancer, seeking a thrilling 3-week, 3,500-mile voyage across the Pacific. Among them was Rick Rodriguez, 31, originally from Florida, accompanied by friends from diverse backgrounds, Alana Litz, former firefighter in the Canadian military, Bianca Bratineau, hailing from Newcastle, England, and Simon Fisher, a seasoned sailor from Marsburg, Germany. Less than 2 weeks into their ambitious expedition, tragedy struck in the form of a massive whale encounter that would alter their course drastically. It was March 13th, a day etched in their memory for its unforeseen events, as Rodriguez and his companions savored lunch of a vegetarian pizza aboard the Rain Dancer. A sudden and violent impact rocked their vessel. In an instant, their crew's leisurely lunch transformed into a battle for survival. Amid the chaotic collision, the water began inundating the vessel rapidly. Reacting swiftly, the sailors gathered essential supplies, water, food, and survival gear, before abandoning the ship to a life raft and dinghy. The Rain Dancer, their trusted vessel, succumbed to the sea within a mere 15 minutes, leaving the crew adrift in the vast expanse of the ocean. With their primary means of communication compromised, Rodriguez activated an emergency position indicating radio beacon and sent desperate text messages to friends and family, including fellow sailor Tommy Joyce, sailing in the vicinity. His urgent messages conveyed their gravity of the situation, having collided with a whale and subsequently lost their vessel. As the crew waited in the life raft, they maintained contact via text messages, coordinating their distress signals and relaying critical information. The unfolding drama captured the attention of the sailing community, prompting swift mobilization. Jeff Stone and his vessel, the Rolling Stones, responded to the distress call, navigating through the darkness to locate the imperiled crew. After hours of meticulous searching, Stone's crew successfully spotted the life raft, guiding their vessel to the sailor's precarious position. Rodriguez and his companions, weary and relieved, were safely transferred aboard the Rolling Stones, marking a miraculous conclusion to their harrowing ordeal. Despite losing their vessel and possessions to the unforgiving ocean, the sailors expressed profound gratitude for their survival and for the unwavering support extended by their maritime comrades. Number 6. Mikey Wright. Mikey Wright, a professional surfer just riding the waves, recently demonstrated extraordinary bravery and quick thinking when he rescued a woman swept into the waters off Hawaii's North Shore. On the afternoon of December 31st, while casually filming the ocean waves with a beer in hand, Wright's tranquil moment was abruptly disrupted by a distressing sight: a woman being engulfed by a powerful wave, swept off the rocks and carried out into the open ocean. Without hesitation, Wright sprang into action, handing his belongings to his wife, leaping over a fence and dashing out of the beach. The scene unfolded rapidly, with Wright and his companions observing the woman's plight. The force of the ocean was relentless and time was of the essence. With instinct guiding his actions, Wright navigated through the waves, reaching the distressed woman and providing her with a lifeline amidst the chaotic waters. As they neared the safety of the shore, a surge of water threatened to overwhelm them. In a split-second decision, Wright made a daring leap with the woman, avoiding the brunt of the waves and the perilous rocks beneath. Meanwhile, others on the beach had rushed to assist, including Wright's sister, Tyler, herself an accomplished surfer. In the aftermath of the rescue, the woman's son, visibly moved and relieved, approached Wright with heartfelt thanks for saving his mother. The North Shore Lifeguard Association commended Wright for his swift response, emphasizing the inherent dangers posed by the unpredictable conditions. Despite being hailed as a hero, Wright humbly redirected praise to the lifeguards who tirelessly patrolled the North Shore, safeguarding beachgoers and surfers. He underscored the essential role of these dedicated professionals, whose vigilance and expertise ensure the safety of those venturing into the ocean. Number 5. Chilean Miners Rescue. In 2010, the world was captivated by the gripping saga of the Chile mine rescue, an extraordinary tale that unfolded over 69 harrowing days. It began on August 5th when a devastating cave-in at the San Jose gold and copper mine in Chile's Atacama desert trapped 33 workers nearly 2,600 feet underground. The mine had a history marred by safety issues and prior accidents, yet continued operations without adequate improvements. Amidst the chaos and uncertainty that followed the collapse, hope flickered as a local emergency response team attempted an initial rescue, but was thwarted by treacherous conditions. The situation worsened on August 7th when a second collapse obstructed access to a vital ventilation shaft. On August 22nd, a breakthrough came when tapping was detected through a drill hole, accompanied by a note confirming the survival of all 33 workers. Dubbed Los 33, the miners endured unimaginable conditions. Yet their spirit and camaraderie sustained them during their 17-day isolation. As a global audience held its breath, experts from diverse fields, including NASA scientists, converged to support the rescue mission. 3 separate drilling rigs, including raised bore machines and specialized oil prospecting equipment, were mobilized. The turning point arrived on October 9th when Plan B successfully breached an accessible chamber, paving the way for the miners' rescue. The final act unfolded on October 12th amid a swell of international attention and the jubilant embrace of a nation. President Piñera personally greeted each miner as they emerged, symbolizing Chile's collective relief. Yet as the spotlight faded, the miners faced a new set of challenges. Despite initial fanfare and promises of support, many struggled with psychological trauma and the burdens of newfound fame. Substance abuse and mental health issues surfaced, revealing the enduring scars left by this ordeal. In the aftermath, legal battles ensued, with blame assigned to the miners' owners and regulatory agencies. Despite the triumph of their rescue, the miners' post-traumatic journey underscored the complexities of this recovery. Number 4. Jose Salvador Alvaranga. In late 2012, Jose Alvaranga embarked on what was intended to be a routine deep-sea fishing trip off the coast of Costa Azul in Mexico. A seasoned fisherman with years of experience, Alvaranga anticipated a prosperous journey, targeting lucrative fish like sharks, marlins, and sailfish. However, fate had other plans for Alvaranga and his inexperienced companion, Cordoba, who was hastily enlisted as a replacement fishing mate. Setting out on a 24-foot skiff equipped with essential fishing gear and provisions, Alvaranga and Cordoba swiftly amassed an impressive catch, filling their icebox to the brim with over 1,000 pounds of fish. Yet their promising venture took a turn when a relentless tropical storm descended upon them. Struggling to navigate amid the tempestuous conditions, Alvaranga and Cordoba found themselves adrift, their boat crippled by the storm. Forced to discard their prized catch to lighten the vessel, the men subsisted on rainwater and meager rations as they grappled with the harsh realities of survival. With the radio rendered useless and hopes of immediate rescue fading, Alvaranga and Cordoba resorted to resourcefulness, relying on Alvaranga's fishing acumen to sustain them. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months, as the men drifted aimlessly across the vast expanse of the Pacific. Cordoba, ill-equipped for the rigors of their ordeal, fell to the harsh conditions, succumbing to starvation and illness. Left to confront his solitary struggle, Alvaranga clung to survival, sustained by a primal connection to the sea and the rhythms of nature. After enduring an astonishing 438 days adrift, he beheld the sight of land, a remote islet in the Marshall Islands, marking the culmination of his extraordinary voyage. Rescued and reunited with civilization, Alvaranga's physical and psychological ordeal continued. Despite grappling with lingering health challenges and a profound fear of water, Alvaranga's indomitable spirit persevered. The remarkable chronicle of Alvaranga's 438-day saga at sea captivated the world's attention, but what sets the story apart is the fact that Alvaranga rescued himself. Number 3. The HMS Bounty Rescue 2012. In the waning days of October 2012, the HMS Bounty, a three-masted vessel with a history as storied as any in maritime lore, met its fate in the waters off Hatteras, North Carolina. Known grimly as the Graveyard of the Atlantic, these waters claimed the Bounty during Hurricane Sandy's wrath, leaving its crew of 16 in a desperate struggle for survival amidst colossal waves and ruthless winds. As power failed and water inundated the ship, the situation aboard the Bounty grew dire, compelling the crew to seek refuge in two life rafts. They faced a merciless night, adrift in the heart of the storm, until a beacon of hope shone through the darkness, a C-130 Hercules aircraft from Elizabeth City. This aircraft braved the skies to locate and provide critical aid to the beleaguered sailors, dropping flares and additional life rafts, and ensuring the U.S. Coast Guard could mount a successful rescue. With dawn's light, the heroism of the Coast Guard took center stage. Helicopter CG-6012, piloted by Lieutenant Commander Steve Cerveni and equipped with night vision goggles, performed a balletic dance with Sandy's fury to pluck the survivors from the rolling sea. Each rescue facilitated by precise drops of a rescue swimmer and a recovery basket. Parallel to this, Lieutenant Commander Steve Bond in helicopter CG-6031 faced mountainous 30-foot waves to reach the second life raft, where Petty Officer 3rd Class Dan Todd provided not just a physical lifeline, but an emotional solace to those on board, embodying the unyielding spirit of the Coast Guard. This operation wasn't just a display of expert navigation and physical endurance by pilots like Lieutenant Jenny Fields and crew members like Petty Officer 1st Class Gregory Mulder, who bore the physical tolls of their endeavors. It was a profound demonstration of determination and sacrifice. Despite personal risk and the elemental fury of Sandy, they secured the safe return of 14 souls to their waiting families. The saga of the Bounty's last voyage and the heroic rescue that followed serves as a profound reminder of the power of human resolve and the unassailable commitment of those who venture into the storm to bring others home. Number 2. Super Yacht Yogi. The Yogi super yacht, delivered in 2011, sank off the coast of Skiros, Greece on February 17, 2012. The yacht was owned by a French national, built to MCA large yacht standards, and certified by ABS. The Hellenic Coast Guard reported that the Yogi experienced mechanical failure, becoming unmanageable due to severe weather, and began flooding. The yacht was in force 8 conditions, with winds between 34 and 40 knots, and seas of 18 to 25 feet. Video footage from the Coast Guard helicopter shows all 8 crew members in survival suits on the upper deck as the rescue operation started. As Yogi lay on her starboard side, the coordinated effort involved helicopters and rescue teams, navigating through the weather to ensure the crew's safety. The Coast Guard successfully evacuated all 8 individuals within an hour, just before Yogi sank to the bottom of the sea. The report, consisting of 40 pages and an appendix of 50 or more, states its primary aim was to identify safety issues to prevent similar accidents, rather than to determine liability. However, the report provides little new information and seems to contradict some statements allegedly made to the crew to Greek authorities immediately after the incident. The report suggests 3 hypothetical scenarios involving material and human factors, such as a defective door in the absence of a safety patrol, but admits that none of these scenarios are robust enough to be retained as the full explanation. The rescue began in the early hours of February 17, 2012 after the Yogi issued a Mayday call around 3:30 a.m., and despite the darkness, the rescue teams worked diligently. An Air Force Puma helicopter played a critical role, arriving on the scene and swiftly extracting the crew. The rescue operation was completed by approximately 8:45 a.m., shortly before the Yogi sank. This incident, happening in 300 fathoms of water during a winter gale, shocked the marine industry, especially given Yogi's recent acclaim at the Cannes International Boat Show. While the Beamer report doesn't fully unravel the mystery, the successful rescue of her crew remains an example of maritime bravery. Number 1. Swimmer in the Superstorm. In late September 2015, during the twilight of a hurricane season that harbored ominous signs of intensifying storms, the HMS El Faro and the cargo ship Minouche found themselves engulfed by Hurricane Joaquin's unrelenting fury in the warm waters of the Bahamas. The crew aboard the Minouche, battling monstrous waves and shifting cargo, faced a dire situation, exacerbated by a loss of engine power. As the ship became increasingly unmanageable, listing precariously amid this tempest, the crew scrambled to stabilize the vessel by jettisoning cargo and deploying emergency signals. With night descending and conditions worsening, the captain made the fateful decision to prepare for the ship's abandonment, a grim necessity faced by seasoned sailors. Responding to the distress call, Coast Guard dispatched a C-130 Hercules aircraft to locate and assist the imperiled Minouche. The pilot guided the aircraft through the skies, descending to the ship's coordinates, only to witness the vessel's desperate struggle against nature. Illuminated by the ship's lights, now listing heavily, the Minouche appeared as a spectral apparition, a tragic symbol of nature's power. Meanwhile, Petty Officer Cornea, an elite rescue swimmer, prepared to deploy into the sea from the Jayhawk helicopter. Amid the wind and waves, Cornea executed a series of daring rescues, retrieving survivors one by one and loading them into the rescue basket. Battling gusts and currents, Cornea faced the daunting challenge of maintaining control amid the wrath. Despite these challenges, their unwavering determination and skill ensured the successful extraction of the survivors from the engulfed Minouche, yet the battle against nature's ferocity continued operational setbacks. As the Coast Guard crews persevered through these adverse conditions, their efforts underscored the relentless dedication and bravery required in maritime rescue. Despite the setbacks and challenges, each life saved represent a triumph over nature's formidable forces. Thank you to our channel members.